friends, it's Nicole Scott from Own Your Sparkle and the founder of the Gorgeous Grey Movement. My mission is to inspire women to love their body and live their best life. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about my journey to going gray, because a lot of you have been asking, you want my deep dive story. So I'm going to share it with you for sure. So, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, Nicole, I want to do it, but I have so much fear. I'm so scared, what I'm going to look like. I'm so scared what people are going to think. I'm so scared that I'm going to look older, than I am. I'm so scared. I'm not sure what the color will look like. Oh my gosh, my skin tone, fill in the blank. I mean, those are all the fears that we have as women is, aging before our time. And I think it's because it's our fear of not being accepted, not being loved, not fitting in with the norm of going gray before we're supposed to go gray, whatever that is. But so what I want to tell you is, back in my 30s, I left a corporate job and went back to school to become a holistic nutritionist because I had a daughter who had a lot of health concerns and food allergies, and I wanted to go back and really help heal her body, which I eventually did, which was awesome. And so I knew early on in my 30s, after my 2 years of nutrition school, that there were, food products, beauty products, household products that had chemicals in them that were called, they're classified as endocrine disruptors. And what that means is the chemicals start to play havoc with our hormone system. So it impacts the transportation of hormones, how they bind, how we eliminate, and they can either make a reaction stronger or weaker versus the original response, because now we're adding all of these chemicals. And so I knew back then that coloring my dark hair, I think back then probably like once a month, every 6 weeks, I'd either go to the hairdresser or I would do a home dye. I knew back then that it wasn't healthy. And I remember one day in the shower, I was about 35 years old, and I was rinsing another home dye off of my hair. And it and silly me, I know better than this, but it literally, I just stood there and it was dripping all over my breast and onto my body and skin. And I'm like, Nicole, this is not good for you. What the heck? But I had so much fear because my husband at the time looked like he was 20 and still got ID'd. And I thought people would think I was like his mother. So I had so much fear because he looked so youthful. And I thought that graying would make me look like a grandma with these two young kids that I had. This fear overtook me, and I'm like, I don't care. I will take the chance. Anybody have that attitude? I will take the chance. I'll do other things healthy, and I'll just take the chance. I'll deal with it later. Well, that's what ended up happening. I kept on dyeing my hair over and over and over again. And it wasn't until age 47 that I went to a hair salon and I got another hair dye, because at this point I was dyeing my hair every 3 weeks, and I was going to the hair salon. And I was just going to a regular hair salon. I was going for the cheap, give her cash, whatever, in and out really fast. So I wasn't even looking at the quality of the hair dye that was, being put on my head. And in that appointment, there was this inner nudge, this almost inner knowing. And I would just remember 2 days after that, I remember getting a rash. I remember feeling like I had an onset of a headache. For some of you, you might understand this, but I actually had what's called a toxic tongue, where I literally had to scrape my tongue for a couple days because there was so much, and I could taste it. The chemicals in that hair dye were coming out of my tongue. And it was like, oh my gosh, it was like my body was screaming at me. And it's like for the first time, I was finally listening to the screams, it wasn't a whisper anymore. Our body can whisper, but then it gets really loud. And my body was really loud and very angry at me. And I had the burning on the scalp. And I don't know if any women get the burning. And we suck it up. I was like, how long have I had this? And I've been ignoring it because I haven't wanted to get still with the answers. And I was too fearful to maybe get still with the answers. So finally I got still. And in that moment I knew, I was like, I'm done. I am so done. I'm going to lean into the fear. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to be bold. I've done this before, being brave and bold in my life. I've been on big stages of, 5,000, 8,000 people, and I can speak. Why can't I be brave and bold with my hair? So I started to, dig deep, because even at that time with, me hair dyeing, I started to gain this dreaded weight of, as a nutritionist, I'm like, I'm a good body weight. This is never going to happen to me. I eat well. I exercise most days, but it was coming on really hard and heavy, that, menopausal weight. And I was like, how is this happening to me? So as I deep dive, hair dye was one of the things that I took out. I also got rid of my nail polish, ladies. I was getting my nails done every 2 weeks. I was getting the gels on. My nails look so perfect and they look so feminine. But again, as I started to deep dive, endocrine disruptors. And so I had been like doing my nails for probably 3 years straight. Just every 2 weeks I go in and I get my toenails done, I get my nails done. But have you ever gone into a nail salon? They're wearing masks for a reason, because it's so toxic. So I got rid of the nails. I used to really enjoy, a very high social life and a lot of wine. Well, guess what? Alcohol increases estrogen in the body, endocrine disruptor. So got rid of that habit. Most of the time, I still have the odd glass here and there, but it definitely is not a habit that owns me. And then of course, plastics, right? Plastics, we use plastics in everything. We store our stuff in plastics. Maybe you're grabbing plastic bottles, or you have a plastic water bottle, other endocrine disruptors. So we started to get rid of the plastics in the house. Then we started to look at beauty products. Like, it just goes on and on. So I was just really deep diving for better health. Does that make sense? And so if I can give you any inspiration, I did the whole going gray for my health, and to be an inspiration for other women that are maybe struggling with their health. And in my group, the Gorgeous Gray Movement, when I asked the question, when you stop dyeing your hair, what happened? The responses have been just incredible. Not only, of course, they're, saving money and improving their bank account, but there's the, better health. I'm not getting my burning scalp. My rash went away. My hormones started to balance out. My hair actually started to get healthier, thicker. There was a lot of women that were starting to lose their hair, and after they stop dyeing their hair actually started to grow back, thicker and healthier. And so there was just all these women pouring in of like all of the health benefits of why they stopped dyeing their hair, and it just made my heart sing. And so, if there could be any motivation for you, to stop dyeing your hair, consider the health of it. That's a huge one. And because there are so many endocrine disruptors, all you need to do, and I think when I did my own homework, I literally took my 35 ingredients. So get your hairdresser to bring the label out, take a picture, and then actually go to the EWG, Environmental Working Group, the cosmetic database that they have, and plug in those ingredients, and it will highlight what those ingredients have shown to do in the body. And that's what I did. And I'm telling you, there was some stuff, it was like, causes cancer, endocrine disruptors, allergies, skin, all of this stuff. I was like, holy cow, and I was doing this every 3 weeks. So do that, go to the E, and I'll put the website where you can go down below, so that you can go and put in those ingredients list like I did, and maybe that will be your motivating factor. Or maybe you're not ready to go, but you can consider going to a henna hair salon, learning how to do henna. I'm going to put another website there. There's a lady here in Canada, in Whitby, that does it. She also has amazing resources on her website where you can go and learn how to do it yourself, and making sure that you're getting the proper henna without the PPD. And then there's also organic hair salons that are popping up, which is amazing. And I go to one pretty local, about 30 minutes away, that I drive, with great products, hair products. And you walk in and you don't smell that toxic, chemical in a traditional hair salon. So I can definitely put some information here down below of different, organic hair salons that you can reach out to. Just all you do is Google organic hair salon in your area and see. And before I even went to them, I actually interviewed them. I contacted them. I went to see them. I wanted to know, what their products are. I looked at their labels. I wanted to know their story. So you can really do some really cool deep diving with that. So on that note, ladies, that's a little bit more about my story. I haven't looked back. People say, well, how do you feel now that, you're almost 100% gray in transition? And I'm like, I feel healthier. I feel sexier. I feel I have freedom. I feel that I don't have the every day thinking about, oh, when's the next time I'm going to have to put chemicals on my hair again. It's just been such a freeing experience. And my only regret is I didn't do this earlier. So if you're watching this and you're 30, gosh, I wish I would have done it in my 30s. It would have saved my body a lot of chemicals and a lot of time and a lot of money. But there's such a movement out there of the gray movement, the gorgeous gray movement. There's a new movie premiere that just came out called Gray is the New Blonde. There's tons of online groups that you can get connected to that will love you and support you and answer your questions. My current group is called the Gorgeous Gray Movement. I started that just over a year ago. I have people from all over the world in that group. We love on each other. We offer suggestions, encouragement, and I just get part of a community. And maybe you're not ready, but still join, and you can kind of witness it until you get brave enough and your why is strong enough to make that decision, if that makes sense. So thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed my story. I hope it's inspired you in some small way. And until next time, sparkle on, ladies.